Hi, friends. Hi, everybody. Oh man, this has sure been a feat. I tried to get on here twice and it kept kicking me off and saying that it couldn't read my camera. So I'm really sorry that I'm late. I'm sorry that last night didn't work out. I wanted to hop on here on Facebook Live and just talk about some things that I've been through just on this journey of life that I'm on, that we're all on. And I want to talk about some personal development things that I've learned along the way that will give you guys some tools in your toolbox that you can actually apply to things in your life that could make an impact or make a difference for you if you're open to hearing about them. Some things that I've learned from different trainers and teachers and just different people who I have had the not the privilege of being able to learn from. So I kind of titled this Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness because I feel like a lot of times in life we're constantly striving to be happy, right? And a lot of times, I don't know, for me personally, I've used the phrase, I'll be happy when. And so I don't know if you've ever used that phrase, but instead of choosing to be happy now, sometimes I'll find myself using that phrase. And the truth to the matter is we should enjoy the journey and be happy now, not when we've achieved something, not, when we have something more. And the reason for that is because our value is not directly related to, our value is not directly related to what we're achieving or what we have or the things that we want to acquire or the goals that we set. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, this is definitely live. Whew. Sorry about that. I'm just laughing because I have tried to do this like 5 times. This is like the 5th attempt. And it definitely goes along with what I'm talking a little bit about tonight because so often we may believe and feel very strongly about doing something or achieving some sort of success, and obstacles can come in our path and they can really deter us and really prevent us from trying to accomplish what we've set out to accomplish. And it's in those tough times, those really difficult, those hard times, what we decide to do will define whether we're going to succeed or whether we're going to fail. And so if we just throw in the towel and give up, then, you don't have a chance. But if you push through and work through those obstacles, like if I gave up the first 4 times that I got on this thing and tried to go live with it, then clearly you guys wouldn't be able to watch it now. But because I continued, I was able to accomplish my goal and achieve what I wanted to achieve, even though last night I spent 9 hours putting my child to bed, even though I tried to get on here like 4 times and my camera wasn't working, even though my child is now trying to run in the room while I'm doing this. We're always going to have obstacles coming our way. And so the first thing that I want to talk about tonight is, and I already touched on it a little bit, is enjoying the journey along the way. Like I said, we use that phrase, or I personally have used that phrase before, I'll be happy when. And our value is not attached to an outcome. Our value is not attached to a goal. We have so much value, you guys. We are amazing people who can accomplish anything that we set out to achieve. We have the capability to do anything. Anytime that you just move your finger, do you know what's happening in your body for that to occur? I mean, that's amazing and unbelievable that we can even do that. So you have to first realize that we have value. I have value. You have value as just being a human being and being a person. And that value is not attached to how much money you have. That value is not attached to what you do for a living. That value is not attached to how many family members you have, or any type of, what kind of car you drive, or, anything of that, any tangible thing. Like, you have value. You are worthy and you are deserving. And sometimes along the way, I think that we forget that, or I know for myself, I definitely forget that. And I can attach an outcome, I can attach what I want to how happy I am at the time. Whereas if I just enjoy the journey along the way, I'll not only be a lot more successful in achieving what I'm working to achieve, but I'll be a lot happier along the way. So that was the first thing that I wanted to share. The second thing I want to talk about a little bit is, my husband and I made some really big changes in December, and I know I jumped on here and I talked about it a little bit a couple months ago, and I can't even really remember what I talked about. But one of the things that we did is we both, we uprooted our whole family and moved to another area. And there were a lot of decisions and thoughts that went into making that choice, And at that time, I wasn't necessarily in a good place. I was working about 30 hours a week, and it was not what I wanted. I wanted to work less than that. We had our baby in 2015, and I just felt like I wasn't getting the time that I wanted with her. I was feeling basically like I was in a position where I didn't have control over my life and the choices that we were making as a family. And that was a really tough position for me to be in. And I didn't like that feeling. Like, I didn't like feeling like we were stuck and we had to do things that we didn't want to do. So we made the decision to make some changes and completely uproot our family and move. And we didn't do that lightly. It was very difficult for us. We sold our home, our very first home, and we're now staying with my parents, which is a huge blessing. It's really an amazing blessing in so many different ways. But what has happened in the process is we had originally talked about when we moved that I would potentially work part-time for a company that I previously worked for. And then my husband had already had a job, and that was really the big reason why we're moving, is because my husband had gotten a new position. And so one of the things that happened in that time frame, I did not want to work full-time. I was dead set against working full-time. And so I really wanted to work like 20 hours a week at a really flexible job that was going to allow me to spend more time with Chelsea and to be home more and to be able to work my home-based nutritional business and to be able to work with this nonprofit that I, well, actually at the time I didn't even know about the nonprofit that I wanted to partner with. I knew that I wanted to partner with one, but I didn't know what I would be doing. I knew I wanted to be on the front end of creating one, but I didn't really even know, what that was going to look like or how that was going to happen. And the reason why I'm sharing all this with you is because events unfolded along the way that fell into place for all of those things to occur. In January, a friend of mine, a very, very dear friend of mine, introduced me to someone who was working with a nonprofit organization called Just a Break. And that's how I got involved with this organization, and we're literally building it from the ground up to make it something that's going to impact thousands and thousands of lives, because it's going to be huge. After that kind of got going and happened, we had some personal challenges that we had to go through, and I kind of took a step back from everything. But what's happened in the past couple months that really amazed me, in the time that we moved in December to now, I have had probably at least 3 offers to work full-time positions for a company. And I was that was not what I wanted. And one of the biggest things that I want to leave you guys with after this Facebook Live is, when we put out into the world what we want to achieve, what we want to have, how we want our life to look, things happen to make that occur. And I don't know if you believe in God or what your religious beliefs are. I personally believe in God. Some people may say, you know, the universe will yield it for you or whatever, but things just started happening for things to show up in our life the way that we wanted them to. And so what has happened in the past couple of months is I actually started working a part-time job. And this part-time job was like the unicorn of part-time jobs. It's a 20-hour work week for me. I have access to full benefits if I want to have those benefits. I can work from home if I want to work from home for some of it. So I work, you know, Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays I work from home. It's something that I never thought even existed, which is also the same thing with the nonprofit that I partnered with. And the reason why I share all of this with you is because you have to know where you're going. You have to know what you want in order for the things in life that you want to show up. You have to have a roadmap. And it was like when I got these offers for this for the full-time job, it was like I had to say no to those for this other opportunity to show up. Like I had to really commit to having it be something that I wanted. And so the first thing that I talked about a little bit earlier was enjoying the journey, being happy along the way. When you hit those obstacles, you know, we hit some personal obstacles in March that were very difficult for our family, and we overcame them. And then this part-time job came along, and now I'm not only able to work part-time as an engineer, but I'm able to build my nutritional business, and I'm able to partner with this nonprofit company, and I'm able to spend more time with my 2-year-old. I'm able to do things that fulfill me as a person, that fill me up, that fill up my cup. And it's not that I had, you know, a terrible experience at the place that I was working before or anything like that. I don't want you to think that. I was just in a much different place, and I wanted more time for myself. I wanted more time to be able to go after the things that I wanted to achieve. And so the second thing that I want you to get out of this Facebook Live tonight is that if you're feeling like you're in a place where you're stuck, maybe you're in a job that you would like to make changes to. Maybe you're living in a city that you'd like to be closer to your family. Maybe you're, you know, just unhappy and trying to figure out what path you want to take. I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way, number one. And number two, if you're willing and committed to making the big changes in your life that you need to make in order to get to where you want to go, then you can achieve exactly what you want to achieve, and doors will open as you move closer and closer to those decisions. Just like what happened with me and Phil, like doors opened. I had no idea about this nonprofit organization until after we made the decision to move. I had no idea about this part-time job until after we made the decision to move. Doors started opening, and things just started happening so that we could create the life that we wanted. And so my first piece of advice would be to sit down and map out, what do you want your life to look like? Like in the next 3 years, the next year, however long, whatever kind of time frame you want to put on it, what do you want your life to be? Not what you don't want. You know, in August, I had the absolute privilege to train with Tony Robbins at the health and wellness company. I'm partnered at the event that we had in August. We had a company-wide event, and Tony Robbins came in and trained us. And he said that one of the things that he shared with us, and these are the tools that I was talking about that I want you guys to have in your toolbox that will help you with your life, help you apply them with your life and moving forward. So he said that we're constantly making 3 decisions. Constantly. We're constantly making 3 decisions anytime something happens, or constantly, no matter what occurs. The first decision is where our focus is. So what are you focusing on? And he used the example as if, let's say you're going to meet someone for dinner, and you go and you sit down and you're eating dinner with this person, or you're waiting for this person to arrive and they're late, right? And so you can think of that in 2 different ways, or probably thousands of different ways. But what's the first thing that you're going to think of? The first thing might be, oh, I'm so mad. I completely forgot. Hi, Evan. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're watching. but the first thing that you can think about is, I'm so mad. I can't believe that they forgot about our dinner date. I can't even believe that. If that's where your focus goes, what kind of emotions are you going to create behind that? You're going to have anger. You're going to be really angry, and you're going to be very unhappy when that person arrives. Another place that you could go is worry. Oh my gosh, something happened. Like maybe they got in a car accident. Oh man, what happened along the way? You know, that could be your second thing. So that's the first decision that you make, is where you're focusing on. The second decision is you decided what it meant. So if you went from angry, so if you're angry, if you're really, really angry with that person, you're like, oh, they completely forgot. Oh, they don't care about me at all. Like, that's you deciding what that means, right? And in the other scenario, if they got in a car accident, oh, what if they're hurt? What if they're in the hospital? What if they're in emergency room and I can't get there? Like, you're making a decision on what that means. And the third decision is you decided how you're going to respond to it, right? So you decided what you focused on, you decided what that meant, and then you get to decide your response. And so if that person actually ends up showing up and you're thinking that they completely forgot, and you respond with complete and total anger, and something happened that they had to do that you completely and totally misunderstood, then that's going to change the whole situation. What you focus on is what you're going to find. And so this is something that has helped me tremendously since August. That has helped me tremendously. Like last night when I was trying to get on Facebook, I was, instead of focusing on putting Chelsea to bed, one of the things that I was thinking about was, oh my gosh, I posted on Facebook I was going to do this live tonight so that I could help so many people with some of these personal development things that I've learned, and now they're going to think that I'm not a person of my word. And then I'm not going to be able to help them. So with that, like, I was focusing on what you guys, I was focusing on the Facebook Live. I was focusing on what I thought it meant. And then I was focusing on what, I was making the decision. I was focusing on how I wanted to respond to it. And so I completely and totally changed my focus to the fact that it was so important to get my child to sleep. And that I'm a mom before I'm anything else. And so I made the decision to be a mom, to be there at 100%, to play at 100%, which totally changed all my emotions, which totally changed what it meant, and which totally changed how I was responding to the situation as a mom versus as someone who is helping others or building a business or, whatever you want to call it, or helping inspire people to really make changes in their lives, or helping, with personal growth and development. And so those are 3 tools that can really help you with where you're at and what's going on with you guys. And that's the other thing, is if you're in a place right now where you're very unhappy with how things are, how do you want it to be? And sometimes we limit that. Like sometimes, like when you use the phrase, I'll be happy when, right? And that devalues you because you think that you're not allowed to be happy until you've achieved a certain amount of success, or until you're in a certain place. When you use that phrase, what can happen a lot of times is your focus is on being stuck in that place. Like you're focusing on everything that's bad, and you're focusing on what you don't want to happen. And if you change that focus to what you want to happen, and you plan ahead, and you make smart decisions and put those plans into action and keep that focus on what you want to happen, then what you want is going to show up in your life more. And you're going to start moving towards it. And you're going to start attracting the things that you want in your life. So that's really what I wanted you guys to get out of tonight, was enjoy the journey along the way. There's always going to be obstacles that come in that challenge you, and that, oh my gosh, it took us forever to sell our house. And there were so many times that I questioned what we were doing because it was taking forever and it wasn't going well. And so those are the times where you really have to hang in there. And those are the times where you have to know that you're on the path to getting to where you want to be. And so if you're struggling with a big decision, I want you to think about what your life could look like on the other side of that decision. Imagine if you could live abundantly instead of in scarcity or lack. Imagine if you could have an influence and impact on thousands of people in a way that you had no idea you could. Imagine if you could truly live in your dream home. Like, what would that look like for you? And I challenge you to do that today, tomorrow, to set aside time, to really, if you're in the process of making big decisions, I challenge you to really think about what those big decisions can do for your life. And then take the leap and do them and go after them and go after what you want. Because in the end, it's always going to be worth it. And the things that you want in life are going to start showing up. So I hope that was helpful. I hope I gave you some focus tools in your toolbox so that you focus on the things that you want and that you decide that they all mean good things. Like sometimes when you're talking with someone, you think it's not going well, or you've made a new friend, you can focus on how well the conversation went, and then you question, oh, well, maybe they took it this way. Like, if you decide what something means in a negative manner, that's not gonna help you, So focus on what you want to happen and decide, positively. And then respond in a positive way. And that's going to change everything for you guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have an amazing night. Thank you guys so much for watching and being on. I love all of you so much. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I'll be back on Friday before the weekend. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Bye, everyone.